Hello and welcome to the 2010 Villagers podcast, episode 10. We've made it this far, 10 weeks of us three talking absolute rubbish, but we're still here. Joining me as always, Jack Salt and Ash Walker. Have we got over last night, boys?
It was a weird one last night, wasn't it?
It was. We'll address it, but be careful, can't talk, we've got to shout! Because that's the new rule, boys. No talking. Shouting is what we need to do. But anyway, moving on from that. Good evening, Sam. Good evening, Jack. And let's go.
Let's get into it, shall we? Because we have a lot to talk about on the 10th episode.
I think this is our most in-depth plan as well.
Yeah, I think it is. The script is looking quite full tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the news, and obviously the big Ferriby news really of the week is that
Hallam sold out in 11 minutes and we only sold out in 15.
Well, yes.
For Salt, yeah.
Yeah, for Jack.
Yeah.
We witnessed that.
Sunday night, great night.
But no, Ash, that's not what I was going to say. What I was going to say was a short but sweet, I would say, spell at Ferriby for Scott Phillips, who has now left and has joined Barton. So, what do we make of that then?
Well, I mean, Scott, in his words, wasn't getting enough game time. Can kind of see where he's coming from, but it's probably a good move for him, obviously.
Yeah.
Nathan Pete, he's very good mates with. He's probably on more money than...
He's a Barton legend as well. They love him up there. Down there, rather.
Yeah, it probably works better for Scotty, but like we say, it'll be a miss, and I'm sure we've all spoken to him, and we've all been chatting very nicely by him. So yeah, it's sad to see him go. He's a nice guy, but it's one of them things. It's local football. The merry-go-round is massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
So stuff like that was always going to happen. But yeah, fair play to you, Scott. If you're watching, you're probably not. You've probably got better things to do. But yeah, all the best to you from all of us.
Yeah, we move on. It's one of those players leave, during the season. Good players, players who always give their all for club, and that's what Scott Phillips did. When he played, he gave it his all. And yeah, I think we'll miss him. But we move on. It's football.
Yeah, we do have to. I'll just add to what you both said. Really nice lad. Had a real in-depth conversation with me. First time I ever saw him. And always was behind the podcast as well. Said how good he thought he was and everything. And yeah, it's a really nice fella. Decent spell at Ferriby. Obviously, he wasn't starting every game. Obviously, as I said on the Twitter account the other day, he did provide us with a memorable moment while he was here. He wasn't here very long, but we won't forget that Northwich goal in a long time, because that was part of one of the best North Ferriby FC performances. So we'll be remembered for that picture of his knee sliding to the crowd.
It's a lasting memory, isn't it?
So we'll remember you by that, Scotty, and good luck at Barton. Right, now I've heard this is going to be quite in-depth tonight, so let's see, and let's hand over to Jeff.
Oh yeah, I've got quite a fair bit. As soon as COVID has wreaked havoc on the league, I've had to think what I can talk about. So we'll start with last night. Only one game. As soon as Hallam, Wearsborough was postponed, and Swanest, Emily was also postponed. Unfortunately, it's not Emily's fault, and that really bugs me. Ferriby 1, Winterton 3.
He messaged us to ask if Emily was at home when he knew it was a Waterloo pitch.
Good evening.
He was gutted that it was Swallownest that was at home.
I know they're listening, they can't help themselves. So good evening to people of Emily. How are you doing? Tweet me. Wednesday, Armthorpe Dronfield postponed, Nostell Selby postponed, and then we've got Campion versus Hall Road.
How that is on?
Come on, Hall Road.
Yes.
Liam Sewell's Blue and White Army tonight. I'm just missing the blue and white Santa hat.
We saw that pitch on Saturday.
It's a miracle that that's on. I'm surprised.
Well, seeing as some teams are now on 10 games, I thought we'd address the league table.
Right.
I'm going to go for the top 6 and then the bottom 6. Do you want to start at the top or the bottom?
Start at the bottom.
Okay, so in last place is Selby, 3 points from 6 games.
Because they've had the last 3 postponed.
I was going to say the 6 games, it's quite deceiving why they're still bottom. Glasshoughton, who have played 8 games, have got 3 points. Wearsborough, 4 points from 9 games. Amthorpe 4 points from 8 games. Dronfield 7 points from 8 games, and East Hull 7 from 7. Talking of East Hull, or East Goole as they are now affectionately known as by some people, some breaking news last night. They've got a new owner. The Jamie Waltham era is now officially over, and Richard Smales has taken over. It's a long statement, I'm not going to read it all.
Please don't.
But I'll go through the gist of it. So the club's delighted to welcome him to the club, as usual.
Well, they wouldn't be gutted, would they?
Oh no, he would be if Waltham took over, wouldn't he?
Well, yeah, you would, to be fair.
Okay, so he's got a vast experience apparently within the professional element of sport. And he's worked with previous North Counties Eastern League clubs. Again, the committee's delighted to have him on board.
Just Kev Ref.
Kev Ref's buzzing.
Well, I'll go through a quote from Richard. I am delighted to accept as the new chairman at East Hull FC. That doesn't make grammatical sense. Following on from the recent events at the club, there is huge potential to progress the club to the next level. Bloody hell, FC United, get ready, East Hull coming. And beyond. And we feel, it's really small, I can't read it, it is a fresh start to build a solid platform to create a strong plan to move forwards from day one.
Sounds like bloody Boris's campaign speech.
Well, they need to get back in the right city for a start.
Yeah, we'll get to that. He's excited to work with Nathan Doyle, Andy Watts, and
Wow.
all the players of the club. Of course, our main priority is to find a suitable venue in Hull for the club to call home, and we are actively speaking with a few locations. He wants a place on record. His thanks to Goole for the ground share this current season. Doesn't sound like they're moving anytime this season, does it? Without this, we wouldn't have a club. True. So thank you to Goole for your ongoing support. And he whiffed us on about some other stuff. Awful statement. He's forgot to thank the main man. Kev hasn't got a thank you.
Outrageous.
Wow.
He's not mentioned Kev.
Outrageous.
Out.
You know what, Kev Red, you're not welcome there anymore. Come to us.
Come to us, Kev.
We'll have you,
You
Kev.
will be very much welcomed at Ferry.
We'll buy you a pint.
It was a good guy. Apart from he liked Winston's tweet last night, which upset me.
Yeah, we don't like that, Kev.
No. We'll get to that.
Oh, anyway.
Yes.
We're
So
gonna
have
move
you
on.
not finished?
No, I've got table and top goal scorers to go, yeah. So the table, okay. First place, we know is top.
Say it, Walker.
Emily are top.
Would you like to say how many points they've dropped all season?
No, because my maths isn't as
2.
good. They've played 9 games, they've got 23.
Oh, 4 then.
Yeah, 4, that's it. Campion, game in hand, key to remember, are on 21, so if they win that,
Which is tonight.
Emily drops second. Key to remember. Brigg in 3rd place, 7 games, 19 points. Ferriby in 4th, 19 points from 9 games. Rossington 5th, 17 from 10. And then Winterton 16 from 7. They won't be 6th for much longer, I don't think. Top goal scorers, Kieran Watson at Hallam with 10. Josh Walker's got 9, he's second top goal scorer at Winterton. Then we've got a 3-way tie at 3rd. Joseph Crosby at Harrogate's got 7. James Ailes at Emily's got 7, and Aidan Kirby at Campion's got 7 as well.
Is this definitely updated? Because it wasn't last week.
Well, Josh Walker didn't score last night,
No, he didn't.
and we was the only game on in our league last night. So yes,
Right.
I'm going to say
That's
yes.
an educated guess.
Yeah, I think so, because I think I looked at the games Josh Walker has played.
Did you say we were on 19 from 9 games?
Mm.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, the league table updates like that.
Yeah.
Just the top goal scorers, Matt Jones, as a coffee instead, I think. But no, some stats.
Right. Well,
And Nunsthorpe.
Brigg is, I'd just like to place on record that Brigg are worrying me.
And me. Well, especially when you'll find out at the end of the season why they're worrying me a lot.
And they've got 2, is that 2 games in hand they've got on us? And they're above us.
2 games in hand on us, and they've got 2 games in hand on Emily. Win both those games, they'll be on 25 points, which would put them 2 ahead of Emily.
If is the big word in that sentence.
Well, football's a strange
I'd
game.
rather have the points on the board currently.
So would I, but we've got the same amount. We've got 2 games less than them. So I think Brigg are going to be a worry. And thinking of Winterton last night, to say they're still below us with 2 games in hand, It's not looking as comfortable as it was.
We'll come on to Winterton later.
Yeah, but yeah.
Because I agree with you about that.
Yeah, anyway, that's it.
You didn't say the Nunthorpe score.
Oh yeah, Nunthorpe, they lost 2-1 to Keelby United.
Oh,
And
God.
I believe they've just sold their centre out to Keelby as well after the game.
Oh, do you know?
Oh, no.
I'm sure Keelby's United manager bought him a pint.
I was going to
I
say,
said they've got a better pub in Keelby.
the breakthrough of the deal was the Mars bar included with the pints.
Yeah, I think, Nunthorpe will be fine. With a rocky patch right now, but
Be fine, lads.
mid-table is looking like for the boys from Nunthorpe.
Oh, well, better than nothing. Right, another bit of news to talk about is we were supposed to be playing Hallam a week on Saturday away, which would have been a battle of the sellouts.
I wonder if,
Well, with us trying to get tickets as well, even though we're not supposed to go, it would have sold out in about 30 milliseconds.
It'd be one of them where Salt and his little friend are competing. Who can tweet it first? And I'm sure, didn't you get the announcement out the postponement at the picture first? Yeah. He won't be happy, the little fella, he won't be happy.
Good on him.
There's a great war going on between these two, isn't there?
He goes to bed at night, goes Jack, and he just sits and he sees this fella from Hallam tweeting all these tweets and he gets real riled up.
Maybe do know I've never met this.
Have you sent your angry email to Bezos yet at Amazon? About
No,
why they
not
got
yet,
a tweet
no.
and we didn't?
That's fine. We'll go as the underdog. Fine by me.
Well, we won't be going as the underdog.
Oh, no,
We
we're
thought
not going
we were
at
gonna be
all.
going as the underdog because that's the news, is that the game is postponed because Hallam's game in the Vars this weekend is postponed because they have positive COVID cases, so the Vars game is pushed back a week and the Vars takes precedent over the league, so we have no game next Saturday now, which, as we will also probably discuss later, may well be a blessing in disguise after what we saw last night. So if any of you were planning on travelling to Hallam next Saturday,
Don't.
don't bother,
Not on.
because it's not on.
Cricket might be on.
God,
No.
the cricket this time of year, you're joking, aren't you?
Yes.
Right, well, good. Right then. Okay, so that's the news. So last night
No, we don't have to.
we do. We
No,
have
we
to
do.
analyse
No, we
it.
do. It
We have
needs
to
to be
break
spoken.
it down properly,
be
and we have to
spoken.
discuss
We've
it.
been on about this all day. On our little group chat, we've said this is going to blow everybody away, our analysis tonight.
You shouldn't have said that.
Well, no, well,
But
it's going
let's just lay down the facts first. We got beat 3-1 by Winterton, who are quickly becoming our bogey team at home.
Yeah.
Still the only team that's beaten us in this division at the Dransfield.
The only team that's beaten North Ferriby FC away from home.
Yes.
Yeah.
what
In
you
district. Well, no, but as they throw it.
Apart from Selby in the League Cup.
Well, in the league. Then.
Yeah.
Well, no, technically that was a draw.
I mean, he does make a very good point.
We lost the game.
He
The
makes a very
records
good
show
point.
that we lost the
We
game
drew,
on
we lost on
penalties.
penalties.
We lost on pens.
Doesn't matter. We
In
lost.
90 minutes, these are the only teams to beat us.
They don't say World Cup semi-finals a draw, do they?
Well,
England lost to the Germans in '96 on penalties. Yes, it was a draw, but we lost.
We lost the game on penalties, yeah. But they. Okay, I'm going to move. I'm going to stop talking.
Right. Good. So, I think it's fair to say everyone was disappointed last night. It was a poor performance.
Chris Norrie wasn't
There
disappointed.
is no. Let's just not.
let's just
Right. There's no getting away from it.
Yes.
The second half, especially, was poor.
Yes.
The players have said that. Everyone's admitted that, right?
Everyone who was at the game last night said
I think
that.
it was poor for the full 90.
Yeah, it probably
it
was. I think it was more. It was masked by the fact it was 0-0 at half time. But for a 10-15 minute period in that second half, Winterton blew us away. We started panicking and made mistakes at the back, and a couple of those goals especially were far too easy.
Yeah, and then when you play defence like theirs, you ain't coming back.
No, because they were very disciplined. They were a good side, as we know they are.
Best team will play this season.
I wouldn't
And
disagree with that.
If you finish above them, you've got a trophy in your cabinet end of the season. They're good.
They were good.
I'm not going to sit here and say it's us. I'm going to play give a lot of credit now to Winterton. A lot of teams wouldn't have done that to us last
Quite
night.
deservedly so.
And they are good. I thought they would be good. I was surprised how good they are. They are so organised at the back. The goalkeeper's immense. Josh Walker's game last night was brilliant. So...
Another thing about them I noticed, the energy
Yeah.
and the press. They pressed us all game. We had no time on the ball. We had no time to make any decisions, and that coupled with the fact that we looked very leggy.
I was just about to say, then the mixture of what we were.
I think Campion caught up with us.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a recipe for disaster really, and that duly happened. We got the penalty back towards the end.
Which wasn't a penalty.
No, but you know, that's this level and we got it. And it was just one of them. I think you know, people said that's what football is, and it was a bad night at the office.
I think, like I said, and like you both agreed with last night, after what we had to do at Campion, which obviously we'll come on to, which was quite phenomenal work-wise, quality-wise, I don't think we could have had a worse game to come back to.
No.
Trying to play Winterton.
No.
Winterton are a very good side. I'm not gonna sit here and wax lyrical about we were knackered. That's the reason why we've lost. And the reason why we lost is because we were beaten by the better team.
Best team in the league.
They're the best team I've seen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Including last season.
They played better last night than they did when they beat us here last season.
So picture all the teams we played last season, which is basically the same team we played this season. We didn't see performance like that against us last season.
No.
That was scary.
However,
they were better against us than Northwich were.
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
Yeah.
However, that's not the full extent of the story, is it?
No, we'll get obviously a couple of massive things obviously didn't help us.
No.
So first of all, two of our main, first 11 players, Loz Mackay and TC, weren't available last night.
No.
Then, within the space of 2 minutes just before half time, we see Danny East flying down the wing and Ware stood right 5 foot away from him.
Well, where that
and
camera
you,
is,
and,
Danny East.
and you see him grab the back of his leg and his hamstring's gone.
I think we all just went, oh no.
Oh, no.
Didn't we?
It went to that effect.
And then, before Elvis had even got back to the bench with Danny East, he was running back on the pitch because at the other end, in the other box, Louis Kirk had gone down and his hamstring had gone. Yeah. So suddenly we've lost all them players, and that was a blow that last night.
It's momentum.
Two of our best performing players this season, Louis Kirk especially, who's been my player of the year so far.
Yeah,
now,
it was awful to watch them two go off injured, and hopefully we all hope, touch wood and everything, that they're not out for too long.
I'm not going to say that because those two went off was the reason why we lost.
I'm not saying that.
No, I know you're not. But definitely didn't help us.
So what it does, you've got some momentum going,
Yeah.
It's an equal game. That massive win changes the game. Now the players are probably thinking, oh, what do we do now? What could have helped us was that was just before half time. Now that could have been changed in the dressing room really quickly and then addressed ready for the second half. But Winterton, to be fair to them, were better than us. There's no
because at that point, before they went off injured, obviously it was 0-0. We had the East chance where we should have scored.
It was an equal
and
game.
we had the Tillow header where the goalkeeper's pulled off a magnificent save.
One of the best saves I've ever seen.
It's a great contest. It was a magnificent contest before those two went off injured.
Yeah.
I mean, we said that first half. I thought we weren't great first half, but it was fairly even.
Yeah, it was.
It was a very sort of.
It was
like you say, it was a good game of football. There was attacks flowing from both sides, some good possession being kept. Yet second half, what we had just sort of crumbled. We took our main midfielder out in the centre of midfield. You've got Kirky there who battles hard, wins the ball back, which you need against sides like Winterton. And you've got a player like Eastie that comes off who will run in behind and will run for days.
Change a game like that.
Yeah, that no doubt changed the game.
No, I agree.
100%. You can't not say that.
So we had just after half time we had the chance for Josh Street, and then after that it was pretty much downhill all the way. Winterton
Well,
dominated
how many
the rest
minutes was it All 3
8
of them.
minutes.
I said to you on about 10 minutes. It was like 10 minutes of craziness. It just
8
went
minutes.
boom like that.
Yeah.
And the
8
game's
minutes, all
gone.
3 goals.
And after that, they were never going to ship 3 goals for us to get a point out
No,
of it.
I mean, they've got that Ridley and Bale at the back who just sat there and just dealt with everything.
Yeah.
The fullbacks are immense.
Yeah. That was
And like the point you made last night, when you have to make 2 subs like that in force, that throws your game plan
It
Oh,
for
really
changing the
does,
game
it
in the
does.
second half out the window.
Yeah.
And it almost like it knocks the stuffing out of you as
Yeah,
well,
it
because you've got these players who are starting every week and they're probably arguably first and second for Player of the Year so far, and to have them just gone like that, it really hits you. You take a step back and you say, whoa, what's been taken out of our side here?
Yeah.
And what for me, it's important not to jump on the players on this.
Absolutely,
They've had-
absolutely.
No, but I'm making a point because of comments I've seen around today.
Yeah, some
I think-
people have overreacted
Right,
to this.
and the thing is, right, you have certain players, and I'm not going to name names, but certain players that you know for a fact are very down on their performance last night, but they've played so well
Exactly.
for all these games, and we've been playing Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday,
you know what,
week
Sam?
in, week out. They're
The league-
entitled to one bad
The
game.
league should be ashamed of themselves. Make us play Saturday, Tuesday.
Yeah,
like this.
and also, the
Yeah.
announcement last night
Yeah.
that we now play Swallow Nest at home 2 weeks tonight, right? After we've... why is it that the Brig game that got rearranged was for like next March or April, whenever it is, but Swallow Nest is 2 weeks' time when we've been playing every Tuesday night for the last 8 weeks?
Is it the league trying to think ahead? Don't want this. But
I understand that.
Why not give us it? Our pitch isn't going to get postponed in November, December.
No, it isn't.
We aren't going to get games postponed in November, December. I can give you £1. I'll bet £1 we're not going to get any games postponed then. Why not move it back to like middle of December? Just give us a bit of a rest.
Even if it's the end of November.
Yeah, but our players are knackered.
This is why we're saying that this postponed Hallam game is now maybe a little bit of a blessing, because at least it gives us a few days off.
Until they arrange it for the week after Swallow Nest.
Well, yeah, but so it was an off night. These things happen, and like Jack said, and I think that's a very, very good point. We could not have asked for anything worse than that after that performance at Campion and what we had to do at Campion. Because without disrespecting other teams in this league, if we'd have had nearly anybody else at home, I think we could have got at least a point out of that last night.
Yeah.
However, I will say this because I know that there are people out there who have this general hatred of Ferriby, and I will say this, and we all agree with this. We are not making excuses for last night. We were beaten by the better team.
If people want to
100%.
say we're making excuses, they haven't watched the video, because all 3 of us have sat here and said Winterton are a better side than us, or they were from last night's semis.
Yeah.
You know, and I've sat here and said if you finish with Winterton, you win the league. So I've not said it's our fault. I've not said it's anything to us. So people who's watching, if it misrepresent that, then they're
You've got to tell the story of the game.
Yeah, and
right?
Winterton are a better
Winterton
side.
were very good. We were poor.
Yeah.
We had an off night. We looked tired.
Yeah.
We lost 2 of our best players before the game, and then 2 of our best players during the game,
Yeah.
which obviously is not going to help.
No, it's not.
That is the facts of what happened last night.
Nothing went right.
Fair
for us
play
last
to
night.
Winterton.
Did
You were class. Well done on your win, and as again you did to us what you did at our place last season, which no one else has managed to do. So fair play.
And when do we go there?
No idea.
Anyway,
I apologise.
now we've had that, we can move to
Shall we talk about some news?
happier times.
No, make
Well,
a cup of tea at this point.
Yes.
Now you can
Yes,
contribute to this
Right.
in any way possible. Anyway, 3 days earlier, so we've come from rock bottom last night to cloud 9 on Saturday evening, because me and you, Jack, went to Campion, and I mean I thought the North
Honestly.
performance was good, but this at Campion was outstanding.
I do not
Outstanding.
think that we could have put in a better performance than we did.
No, we couldn't.
All over the park, we were outstanding.
And I am going to say now, Chris Boulder, that was a masterclass. An absolute tactical masterclass at Campion. Danny East as the number 9, TC back on the left, it was a revelation, and we bossed that game. And Campion, who'd won 7 out of 7 before that point, never looked like scoring. We were so disciplined. We had so much energy, tenacity, and we could tell from the first 5. We said after 5 minutes, didn't we? We said, bloody hell, we're playing well today. We're going to play well today.
I knew from the first 5 minutes what that game be.
We're class. So, well done, lads, for Saturday. Had a bad night on Tuesday, but that we can't forget what we did at Campion because it was superb.
It's funny, isn't it? We said to each other, which game are you more likely to win? Campion away was 7 from 7, scoring goals for fun, or Winterton at home on our patch. Football's a weird game.
I'm going to ask this question. I was going to ask it at the end. If I sat here last week and said I was going to get 3 points from these 2 games, would you have taken it?
Yes.
I would have taken it.
I would have liked 4, but yes.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, is it?
No.
So it's fine. We're fine.
No, it's definitely not. And obviously, just going into a bit more detail of the day. Obviously, it was a horrendous day. It belted it down from about the 10th minute all the way to the end. I mean, that pitch would definitely have failed a pitch inspection, but at the end of that match,
how like you said before, and I'll say it again, how their game tonight is on, I will never know.
I don't know.
They've worked miracles to that pitch.
Because the pitch was an absolute bog at the end, which won't have helped either side's players and their legs.
Are you checking the score?
Yeah, I was going to check it.
So, but just to dig into the detail of it, obviously one of the big points was it was great to see TC get off the mark.
TC was fantastic.
It was.
I mean, all the time he's been playing down the left-hand side, it's been sort of a revelation for us. TC is very much a confidence player, needs goals in his game, otherwise his confidence can go. He will admit that himself. But yeah, TC Saturday was fantastic, lovely to get his goal. It doesn't matter how it comes, as long as he got it, which he did. I thought I could see what you've got written there. Easter was fantastic as well. But there was one part of Saturday which was really, really pleasing in particular, especially with how Campion have been playing this season, and that is how we defended.
Yes.
We were unbelievable defensively. Tillo and Levi were outstanding. Tillo was letting nothing past him, the same with Levi. To be fair, Levi was denied a certain penalty in the first half. How we were given that, I'll never know. But defensively as a unit, from those two to even the full-backs, we were awesome.
Well, considering how free scoring Campion were, did Lewis have a save to make?
No, not really.
And that tells you the story.
Exactly.
And we defended as a team as well. I thought the midfield 2 were fantastic.
Yeah.
Kirk and Healy.
Unreal.
Okay, Healy got booked, but other than that...
Well, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
It's a natural thing.
You know.
He gets booked. But his performance, other than that, he was like a bulldog in that midfield. He was fantastic, and it was a great header for his goal, and it meant a lot to him as well. You could tell, and it was, it was fantastic. And to see the players after that game, they were all absolutely buzzing. Weren't they? I mean, Danny East gave me an hug and nearly broke my rib. I mean, I was like, God.
And Lewis,
Maybe that's why his hamstrings gone.
And Lewis XL nearly smiled.
Nearly, yeah. But yeah, everyone was delighted. It was a good day. It was a really good day. Not a great trip at all to get to the other side of Bradford, but it was worth it to come away with 3 points. So yeah, it's important to remember that when we're having the post-mortem of Winterton last night. You have to remember the rough with the smooth. And
3 points from 2 hard games.
At the end of the day, right, the season is a very long season.
Yeah.
To go a season unbeaten at home is virtually unheard of. You don't see many teams do it. That was one blip that we've had that we'll have in the... How many games do we play?
It'll be 19 home games.
Yeah. So
in the 19 home games, that will be the worst home game we will play. That will be the worst game of the season.
Also, you said it's a long season. I don't think that's really, really going to help us. I know we've just got the Hallam game postponed, but we've played every single game so far. A lot of clubs now are having COVID games postponed because of COVID.
And this is before the weather gets bad.
This is before the weather. We're going to get the games played. Come March time, we should still be playing Saturday. We'll have the occasional Tuesday. But it seems like Selby, who I've been worried about, we're playing Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday maybe.
Yeah.
If it carries on
like what it was getting to at the end last year before lockdown.
So that's what the league would argue. The league would argue, oh, we're doing you a favour getting the games in now. I disagree with that because our players are knackered.
But at the end of the day, they're not. That's okay, and like you made a very good point about you can make considerations for Ferriby home games because our pitch will not get called off. And also, they're not professional players.
No.
They go to work every day.
Yeah.
They train once a week, right? And they're playing twice a week, every week. You can't expect these players to keep going and going and going and going and not start picking up injuries like hamstring injuries that we picked up last night.
Are we training just once a week with all these Tuesdays?
Currently not training at all.
That's not going to help, is it?
So,
And I can't blame him for not training.
No,
you know,
you
the
can't.
level is already.
It's just impossible
there,
to do.
Yeah, it's impossible to do it.
They're playing that much football.
Yeah.
It's pointless training.
Yeah.
So
Did you find the score?
Yeah, it's 0-0. Sam Robertson just had a chance for All Road.
come on, All Road.
Come on, Saul.
So,
I'll get a tattoo of his face.
I think, obviously we'll come on to the away day experience later on with Campion, but I think we've covered a lot. Another one as well that I must say, Loz Mackay was outstanding as well.
Loz is one of those players who, even on a bad day, is still the best left back in the Northern Counties, both divisions.
Ralph at Selby would disagree.
I'll disagree with you then.
Not me, Ralph at Selby would
I don't
disagree.
care. Ralph can jog on because Loz is. End of conversation.
That's all you, Ralph.
Yeah,
Next
Ralph.
point.
Right, okay, so on to the forfeits. As usual, it's only me paying in.
Well, you have got lessons of
It's payday next week, Sam. So
Right.
when I come next week, I'll have my bank loan ready.
That's £2 for East and Street's clean sheets on Saturday, all 90 seconds that Josh Street was on the pitch. But anyway, so that's me.
Something that we need to say about forfeits.
I'm getting to that. Give me a chance. Give me a chance.
Chill.
Right.
Chill.
So
Sorry, Chris Tarrant.
as everyone will probably know by now, the lads are taking part in Movember next month.
Which means Saul's going to shave his beard.
I am.
To raise money for a very worthy cause that's close to a few of the players actually as well, Prostate Cancer UK. So with that in mind, we are carrying on our forfeits as normal, our money going to the club, but for November we've decided on the three of us. So for each goal that Ferriby score, no matter what player scores it, so it doesn't have to be one of our forfeit players, we're going to pay £1 for every goal we score in November each, and £2 each for every clean sheet in November. So hopefully that should be a decent donation from the 2010 villagers.
November, the 3-goal curfew is going to get smashed, isn't it?
Yeah, it will do.
I hope so.
And obviously we'll all end up putting in donations ourselves, I would have thought, but obviously we'll try and encourage everyone to put in, what you can. It's a really great gesture from the lads to see them doing that. So it's going to be a bit of fun as well. I mean, I think a few of them are going to look absolutely ridiculous.
I can't wait to see what Jack looks like.
I want to see what Emo does, because he's very attached to that beard that's taken him about 4 years to grow.
So we talk about the fundraising for that online. Obviously the online thing is on our social media, but the Retford game on the 21st of November, there's going to be buckets around the ground for fundraising for November, and the lads are wearing prostate cancer warm-up t-shirts before the game. So
excellent.
that game will be dedicated to that.
Just shows our community spirit as a club, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's excellent, really good stuff.
Yeah, and they've gone the extra mile, sorting out, and this is off the players' backs, isn't it? Sorting out the
100%.
collection buckets, the warm-up t-shirts, the lot.
100%.
Yeah, so really well done, lads, and we hope you raise a lot of money.
So good press, it's good. Good press for
Yes.
Of course it is.
Next up is Super 6. Now, through
Is he
no
still
fault
winning?
of our own, it's been a bit of a farce this week at
yes.
Super
So
6.
we've been panicking. Well, we have been panicking, haven't we?
I haven't got an update because I haven't done it, I'll be honest. So a Super 6 is now down to a Super 2 this midweek. The Ferriby game last night and the Campion game that's ongoing. So we will be giving double points for those two games. Saturday we're going to look at a mix of the Vars and the league, and we will try our very, very best to pick out 6 games that aren't going to get postponed. Thanks everyone for still entering every week. Bear with us. We're not going to say we're going to count the scores and put them in when these games get rearranged or whatever, because it's too much logistical nightmare to do that.
And plus
So,
the league might look different by
if
then.
games get called off, they get called off, but we will just keep putting in the scores as they come in, and if we get to a stage each week where we get to 3 games or less, we will say double points. If it's 3 games or more, we'll just go with normal. 3 games or less, we will do double points, just to keep the excitement there and give it a bit more of incentive. But obviously it is difficult at the moment with all this COVID, and obviously we're going to get to the bad weather stage soon as well.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
It's coming.
The grey clouds are appearing.
Yeah, the clocks have changed.
Fields
so,
that we have to go.
yeah,
So, yeah.
Halloween on Saturday. It's yeah. But anyway, keep at it, everyone. Mark Chesney, up until last night, was still top. But
Knock him off.
But he's got a couple of people really breathing down his neck now.
Yeah,
Evening, Mr. Tomlinson.
We can't have him.
Who do you think would be worse?
Our new expert.
Mark or Dan?
Oh, Dan. 100%.
I think Mark could be worse because he wouldn't shut up. Then again, neither would Dan, or would I rather none of them win it?
Both very worthy winners, if either of them do win.
Yeah.
But there's still a long way to go. That's his words, not ours.
Yeah. We say whoever wins.
I'd rather your mum win it.
Well, she's got no chance. She said Ferriby beat Winterton. Anyway, right. Next up, Pies, Pints and Pissers, Mr. Sol.
It's back.
We've got our duties to fulfil. So,
although we didn't fulfil them very well, as you'll find out.
Well, no, Campion. Well, it wasn't really our fault. The gates were open till 1:45.
True.
I mean, what were we going to do? Of course we stopped at McDonald's on the motorway. Of course we did.
It's just
So,
standard.
You know, we didn't partake in the food offering, but to be honest, there wasn't much of a food offering as we were. Well, I know it's pies first, isn't it? So, basically, I think it's the only ground I've ever been to where there's essentially one food option, and it was.
Was that it?
Well, it was either burger, chips, or burger and chips.
Wow.
That was it.
Talk about keeping it,
Simple.
simple and cheap on the costs.
Yes. I didn't think it looked great. We know two people that ate the same thing. One said it was really nice and one said it was rubbish. So we've said 5.
Yeah.
We've said 5.
It has to be.
Average. And I think that might even be being a little bit generous. But we'll say
average
5.
to him, God.
Average? Have you said that about Emily, have we?
Right.
Sorry, Emily.
Next up is pints.
I had a very nice pint of Carling.
And I had a couple of
A
nice pints
very,
of
very
Carling.
nice man poured it for us.
Yeah, I couldn't remember who Campion had played on the Wednesday night, poor old sod, but you know, it was alright. And yeah, it was good. It wasn't out of a can.
Was that good?
Yeah, it was
It
decent.
wasn't out of a can?
No.
Fair play.
Evening, Emily.
Fair play. Fair play.
So,
And there was more than 3 allowed in the bar.
Fair play. Well done, Campion. They've realised, they watched this and thought, shit, Ferriby are coming. Better get the old barrels stocked up. Put the cans away.
right, so we're going with 8. And then Pissers. It was a clubhouse very similar to Harrogate's. They had toilets upstairs and downstairs.
Well, it's a council facility.
They were COVID marked out. You know, they had plenty of hand sanitizer everywhere around the place, in fairness. So we're going 8 there as well, aren't we? So that's 21 out of 30. So
Average.
not quite top, but
Average.
you did better than Emily. So
Everyone's going to do better than Emily.
For God's sake. You did Emily again. Right, come on.
some might say we're obsessed.
No, they're obsessed with us. I'm just repaying a favour. I can guarantee they're watching.
Oh, they are. He did.
Guarantee it.
Come on, let's have the quiz then.
Okay, so yeah, it's back to you now. You've had your 10 minutes off.
Got the quiz.
No, you haven't. It's there. I can see it written
9 o'clock
down.
this morning this was completed.
God, you are prepared this week.
Because he's got a week off.
Not messing about today. Okay, 3 questions, because I feel generous, and then I've got the 11.
Oh, right, okay.
I forgot this happened. Number 1. Which club did Danny Clark leave the Villagers to sign for in 2014?
Halifax.
Yeah, that's what I
2014. Not Halifax. He left for a very, very short period of time at the start of the season. Where did he go?
2014. Would that have been Prime Hull United days?
It would have been Prem Hull United days.
Is that the right answer?
Well done, Sol. Hull United. Yep.
Wow.
Went to go sign for Hull United in the number Prem, I believe there was it. It was in the counties then, I believe. I can't remember. Number 2. Who was the club's top league goal scorer in the National League North promotion season? The season we got promoted from the National League North. Who was our top goal scorer?
Jamo.
No.
Dents.
Dents. Okay, so it's 1-1. How many goals did he score? Don't shout out yet. Whoever's the closest gets the point.
League goals.
I believe it's league goals. It was in the programme.
The year we got promoted to the conference. I don't think it was that many. I'm going to go 18.
Okay. Go on.
17.
Sam's closer. It was 20.
It's got more than I thought it did.
2-1 Sam. Okay, last question before we go on to our missing 11. Who started the conference national season with the number 9 shirt?
Oh, it wasn't Connor Robinson, was it?
Kendo.
Not Kendall.
No.
I want a definitive answer, Salt.
Was it Matty Templeton?
No, he got it towards the end.
That's where he had it.
The person who had it wasn't there the whole season.
It wasn't Connor Robinson.
Was it Vinnie McKendy?
Not Vinnie McKendy.
I'm gonna pull a massive shout from here. Was it Jake Martindale? Martindale, was that his name?
Thompson.
Thompson.
Thompson was 25.
Oh, he won number 9.
Who you said it wasn't?
Conor Robinson.
Connor Robinson.
Oh, that was my answer!
You said it's not Connor Robinson. That's why I said I want a definitive answer. You should have said Connor Robinson. Now do I give you the points?
Yes.
Do I give you the point, Sam? Not you, so you didn't say. So it's not.
Give him the point.
So that's what?
He
1,
needs
2,
2-1.
3-1.
He needs it.
You got the 2 from Dents and then that
Right,
one.
okay,
3-1. Right, the missing 11. I went into the old.
He's
brochure.
back.
He's back. First game of the season we played Buxton.
Phil Withers will want royalties off you for that, you know.
Well, he can have them. Well, he's not having them until he comes back from Barton. Nicklin was in goal.
Who were we playing?
Buxton at home, first game of the season.
Oh, right, okay.
Drew 1-1. I can't say who scored. You have to wait why. Nicklin was in goal. Gardner was at right back. Paul Futton, who was at the back?
Greg.
Yeah, Greg scored. That's 4-1. Nathan Pete at left back. Danny Clark on the right. Kingy in the middle. Who was next to Kingy?
Fry.
Yeah. Come on, Salt, you meant to take part.
Yeah, I'm thinking of that season.
Jack Muldoon on the left, at midfield.
God, whatever happened to him?
Gary Bradshaw and who up front?
Lee Morris.
Yeah, Lee Morris.
Lee Morris.
Started.
Oh,
Lee Morris started. The cult hero. Lee Morris got
I vaguely remember him starting that.
What a guy.
I think we'll call it a battering.
Well, yeah, just
Oh, have you got the subs bench?
One more player. Anthony Pecora, Mark Gray, Steve Ridley, who we saw last night, Ryan Kendall, and who now? I've been really cruel.
Boulder.
No. It wasn't either very long. It's down for Buxton.
Ridley.
No.
I just said that.
He scored against us for Buxton in December.
We mentioned him last week, talking about him, and I can't remember his name.
Stokes?
No.
Got the first 2 letters right.
Stevens.
Yeah. Salt, you've been pummeled.
Fine.
If I was going to Wythenshawe on Saturday, I'd have bought you a consolation pint. Okay, that's good.
But you never go to football anymore.
What was that last night? And I can't go. I would have gone next. I would have gone on Saturday, but it's tea and free. I've got to abide by, Boris and Matt and I and Dominic.
And their advice, not their law. Remember that. I'll just put that out there. Remember that, everybody. It's advice.
I'm going to Rossington.
Right.
Now, I'm advising you that you don't have to, that you shouldn't go, but it's pay on the gate.
Campion hit the post, by the way. It's
Oh,
2-1.
well.
Oh dear.
Jodie Barford's doing well in the whole road goal.
You've only done half a job. It's time to go down memory lane.
Oh shit, I forgot.
What even is memory lane?
We said last night.
Did we?
We're going to the 1st of December 2012. We've always talked about victories on this memory lane. We don't have many defeats, so it's time to have a defeat. A very memorable defeat and a very costly defeat.
Well, it won't come in the
for
season.
the club solicitors. Ferriby 2, Hensford 3.
Oh, this one.
Wilson got both goals. He was later sent off. We were 2-1 up.
Yes, he was.
This is this is the extent of my research. We were 2-1 up after 80 minutes. There was a bizarre penalty, and then Aaron Ray scored the winner on the 89th
It was a
minute.
Harvey dive. I don't think there was anything bizarre about it.
We'll get to Neil Harvey. And then Aaron Ray got the winner in the 89th minute for Hensford. The team that day: Adam Nicklin, Dean Lyles, Greg Anderson, Mark Gray, Nathan Peake, Danny Clark, Chris Balder, Liam King, Ryan Williams, Anthony Wilson and Ryan Kendall.
What a team.
Russell Fry came on for... Yeah, it must be Russell Fry. Russell Fry came on in the 63rd minute for Ryan Williams. Then Ben Hunter came on for Ryan Kendall after 81.
What an inspired substitution that is.
And that defeat ended a 16 game unbeaten run for the club.
Now, there's a lot we can talk about.
And then the referee, Chris Akers. Hello, Chris.
I was there that day, but I can't remember it.
Right, well, I definitely can.
I can.
Now, I was Mr. Popular with Hensford during this season because of my keyboard warrior rantings.
I think that game upped it though.
A certain Facebook page.
I'm still a member of that.
Yes, so am I. And I wasn't very popular with them. Now, as we all know, that was the season where Ferriby and Hensford battled it out for the league title, which we eventually won. Now, the two games were both 3-2. They beat us 3-2 our ground, and we won 3-2 there, which is another very memorable game I'm sure will feature at some stage. But this game had a lot, and a lot in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, we had the Wilson red card, and the very dodgy penalty, and our favourite player in non-league, Mr. Elliot Durrell, tucked the penalty away.
Did he get both?
And
I thought he got two.
yeah, I think he did.
Yeah,
that day.
he got 2 penalties.
Yeah. So he wasn't a very popular man either.
Very good player.
And now I can't remember exactly how it happened, but Billy also got sent off.
He got sent off and moaned about the penalty.
Right. So there was the free kick that we all remember.
3-2 down.
3-2 down this week. It was right at the end, wasn't it?
We moved over to our tunnel to give the referee abuse at this
Yes,
point.
we had to, because that was what we were like
Yeah.
in those days. We were unsavoury characters. Well,
Some would argue. Emily would argue.
Now Ben Hunter was stepping over this free kick to take it for Ferry. Now, what was Ben Hunter's nickname, Sol?
And all we heard...
All you could hear in the crowd.
I can't remember who was lining up to take it, but all you heard was Lammy! Lammy! Bear in mind, Billy's been sent off.
It should have been in the dressing room.
He should have been in the dressing room. He was stood on the steps, giving his best Lammy impression. Lammy! He got less and less confident as other people speak. Lammy! Wasn't it? And I think Lammy did take it.
It did, but it didn't score.
It hit the wall.
Yeah, I think he did.
Much to Billy's disgust that he marched into the dressing room. But it was a very interesting game.
But then didn't it all kick off?
Yeah.
Coming off the pitch, it did, didn't it?
Yeah.
With the two sets of players, and I seem to think Mr. Durrell was the centre point of that as
Well,
well.
was their centre half banging on the fucking fence like, "Way!" Listen, us and Hensford didn't like each other at that point, and the referee didn't help matters that day. And I don't think he likes our club, that referee, after he took us to court, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, he did.
I can't remember the outcome, so it's not fair to speak about that. But yeah, he wasn't really impressed.
It's one of them referees I can't stand.
And then do you remember the Birmingham Hull City game? The
No.
Hull City Birmingham game later on in that same season. I was sat with my brother. You were sat here. Oh, somebody, Greeny was sat there. You were sat there. I got the programme out, and Mr. C. Akers was the linesman. I rang you. Look at the linesman. Oh my God! You went. Oh look. You know, and he was there that day. Yeah, I've not seen him since.
that day.
In the case, it's harder.
Mm.
But I don't think we've seen him again, have we?
No. But that was a blow that day. Obviously, we'd been on that great run, but Hensford had been on a similar run with us, and were
Well, you know, the week before, I read the brochure. I don't know if they were second, because the week before we went to Ashton and won, and Ashton was second at the time.
right.
So there must have been up and coming Hensford. They must have
Yeah.
been pushing up a little bit, but I'm not sure there was second.
Yeah.
They may well have been.
But we were robbed that day, and
Right.
they loved rubbing it in our faces, and I hated Elliot Durrell, and I've never really liked him.
No, I think we booed him at Wembley, didn't we, when he got read out for the Wrexham team.
Yeah, unlucky Elliot lad.
Did he get on?
I don't think so.
No, maybe he did.
He's still kicking around the National League now, isn't he?
Is he?
Or he might even be in the league.
I don't think he's in the
I
football
think he's
league.
in National. He went to Macclesfield, didn't he? But he wasn't there very long. I'll Google it.
But yeah, that was a very memorable day for Billy, especially. I will never
That
forget
was one of our
I'll never
highlights
forget him
of,
screaming Lammy.
We always shout Lammy now and then, don't we?
Whenever we hear Hunter's name, we always say that, don't
He's
we?
at
You know,
Wrexham.
He's still
back
at
to Wrexham.
It's one of them. Yeah, I do remember it kicking off afterwards with fans up against the gate thing that we have, and players and our players kicking off with their players. And it was a very unsavoury night, in fairness, in the end.
Yeah, it was.
And yeah, it was a. But that was the battle we were in. It was two teams wanting promotion, and it meant a lot. And the referee ballsed it up, and it just, you know.
Was he a bottle job?
He's one of them self-centered referees.
He got conned. I think the first penalty was a penalty, if I remember rightly. And then Harvey looked like a dolphin jumping in the air for his penalty. I believe it was Nicklin who fouled him, wasn't it? Was it Nicklin gone down to get the ball and he jumped over him and got the penalty? Yeah, that's football. As we said earlier on, it's football.
It is, certainly is. That's why we love it. So,
speaking of Lammy.
Oh yes, is he still there?
He is.
Oh, we've got to shout Lammy on Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
That's if Matt Huncock doesn't stop us.
What? He's hardly going to be stood on the turnstile, is he?
No, he's going to be on the M62 stopping us.
I bet Boris is there. He loves a bit of ferry.
He watches this show, Evening Boris.
If he's there on the M62, just find your right foot.
I'll just swear and kill the bastard.
For God's sake.
Do humanity a favour.
Jeez.
I am joking. Political banter. Political banter.
You Emily fans, get him reported to Ofcom.
Yes.
We don't want him on anyway, so, you know, get him booted off for comments like that.
How rude.
Right. Anyway, it's time to preview. Once again, we've got two previews because we've got yet another Tuesday night game.
Like, another Tuesday. It's just far more.
So, next up, Wythenshawe Town in the Vars, second round, away in Manchester. Massive game. And we're going to have to bounce back, and I hope we do, because I don't want this FA Vars run to end, because Northwich was that good, it would be a real shame for it to end at Wythenshawe.
Especially if this is at home. It'd be bouncy, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
No, we have to trek all the way. Well, I'm not, but others are going to have to trek all the way over there.
Yes.
In our comfy bus.
Yeah.
I know. He's done me a favour this week. He's managed to get me on the bus with the team.
He's in official club capacity.
Yes.
Is the
I'm
word.
standing press officer for the day.
God help us.
I've written a few match reports in my time. We'll be alright, don't worry. Anyway, what's your thoughts on the game, Mr. Salt?
Let me put it to you this way. If we had Louis Kirk and Danny East, I'd be a lot more confident
Yes.
than I am now.
Yeah.
That is a blow.
It is. It is a blow.
East is adamant that he's playing on Saturday, but he's not.
Well, I think Elvis will tell him otherwise.
Yes. I think Chris will tell him otherwise. I think his missus will probably tell him otherwise. But yeah, I mean, if we had those two, it would be, I would feel a lot more confident. However, we've got Loz back, we've got TC back. So TC comes in for Eastie. Is that a bad replacement? No, not at all. We've got Loz back, who will slot in at left back, and Nelly will probably drop out. Nelly's not fully fit, we know that. He's coming back from a fairly big injury. So the players that we've got coming back in are going to improve us. It's just unfortunate that Josh Street is cup tied. Otherwise that would have been another great option for us. But we take the rough with the smooth. We should hopefully, and don't, this might happen, it might not, we should hopefully have Josh Dennett back for Saturday, who we've missed. Oh God, what was his last game? Hall Road?
Hall Road, I think, yeah, Hall Road.
Yeah, who's been out with an ankle and foot injury. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get Josh back. But yeah, I mean, mate, our team is one of those which will never jump and say die. And I reckon we will go there. We like a nice big game, and I think we'll put in a really good shift. Wythenshawe are a very good team. They score lots of goals, But I fancy us against anybody, and I will always say that, home or away. I'm quietly confident, but I'm kind of preparing myself.
I'm similar. I'm very much looking forward to the game. I agree with you, and I think our problem maybe is that we seem very light on attacking options.
It's that way. It's what the bench is going to look like.
With East and Street being out for different reasons, that leaves really Gary Bradshaw as our attacking option on the bench. Which, no offence to Gary, but would be better if we had Street on the bench, and we've lost Phillips, which has come just at the wrong time with us getting injuries. So the starting 11 is going to have to do a lot of the job. And I think the two people that have got an absolutely huge job on Saturday is Healy and Shortland in the middle. I think they are going to have to be so disciplined, and they're going to have to run themselves ragged on Saturday, because
at the end of the day,
we don't have Lewis Kirk, and obviously they are a very good team attacking wise, so our back four is going to need protection. So they've got a massive job on Saturday. Not that everybody else doesn't, but hopefully them two can really put in a good performance, and if they do, we will have a lot better chance of winning. And I think we've got it. If we get chances early, we need to take them.
End of the day, mate, we need a Campion performance in order to get something from that and to be able to go through. We need a performance like we had at Campion. But I know the character of this group of lads. I know the character of Chris and Robbo, and we will bounce back. I'm absolutely sure of that. How confident I am for Saturday? I'm a pessimistic person. I always have been, I always will be. But I sometimes see realism as well. It will be a really tough game. It will be harder than Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I know you're not going, but what's your thoughts on the game?
Very, very hard.
Extremely hard.
It's very hard, and last night didn't help.
Yeah.
It's one of those where if we were at home, we'd probably win the game. Away from home, it's a long journey as well, which doesn't always help. I don't know. It's one of them. I don't know.
It's going to be a weird one as well. Like, will the players even be allowed in the dressing room and things like that? Like, with it being tier 3.
Who knows? It's going to be a weird.
They get a gazebo like Lancaster got at one of their games.
Yeah, I saw that. It's going to be a weird day. But where I'm pessimistic, I'm optimistic. I think we've got enough quality in depth to be able to go there and get a result. And I think if we go there on Saturday and win, nobody's stopping us in that competition. No.
Don't say it, because I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
If you mention the words Northern League,
the Northern League team would. If we were playing a Northern League team on Saturday, I'd be terrified. Okay, I'm just going to go with a prediction.
We haven't talked about Rossington
yet. Predictions at the end. Stick to the script.
I don't do that. I just think it's going to be tricky. That's all. I just think it's going to be
tricky. Of course. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be a piece of...
Right, go on then. Go on then. We'll go with it, and then we'll move on.
Yeah,
do predictions for this first. Go on then.
See, I know what I want to say.
I know exactly.
My head's telling me something, but my heart's telling me something else.
And that go with the heart.
And that I might do, because I can see it. It's going to be hard. We're going to have to dig in. And like the shouting boys on Monday, we have to dig in and be shithouses. And we can do that. Okay, I'm worried about the bench. The bench terrifies me because I don't know who's going to be on the bench. Because we are thin on numbers. But our starting 11 should have enough to compete with a team like Wythenshawe.
100%.
Okay, we win 1-0.
After all that build-up, so you're going for the win?
We win 1-0. Yeah, we win 1-0, but that has a direct correlation to what I say about Rossington.
If we beat Wythenshawe, I couldn't give a stuff about Rossington.
I'd rather beat Rossington.
I'd rather beat Rossington. 100%.
That's fair enough, but I will be floating on air if we win on
Oh yeah,
Saturday.
we all will.
100%,
but
go, live in the moment.
right, go on then. What are you saying for Wythenshawe?
I'm going to go outside the box. It's going to be a draw.
Like Jamie Forrester with a free kick outside the box. He's going to score on Saturday.
Cost in a bit, not just.
It's going to be a draw of 1 apiece, and Mr. Buttle will score the winning penalty.
Well, I was just going to say a 1-1 draw and we'll win on penalties.
No,
So I'll go for.
go on,
I'll go for a 0-0 draw and we
Okay.
win on penalties.
Okay.
I think it'll be a battle. It'll be a real
It
battle.
will.
I think it will.
It will be a fantastic game for the neutral.
Do you remember Jerome Wright, who was at FC United?
Yes.
He's there, isn't he?
Yeah. Right, we mentioned it a couple of times then, so straight away we back up, win, lose or draw, and we go to the home of Lammy, we go to Rossington on Tuesday.
A promotion rival.
Another place we've never been.
The play what I've been.
Well, you've been.
They're playing well at the moment,
They are.
Rossington.
Jason Stokes, they are promotion rivals.
Another tier 3 game, remember, don't go.
Yeah, well, we got advised last night, didn't we? Don't go to Rossington. Don't go. I'll never speak to you
I'll
again.
never speak to you again if
We
you
won't
go to
get spoken
Rossington.
to if we don't go to Rossington, so we're off to Rossington.
Yeah, Rossington is one of those games where it's going to be one of them Tuesday nights. It's just going to be tough. We're just going to have to dig in and go there and get a result, no matter what the consequence is. Like Ash said, and God, I hate agreeing with him. I would rather beat Rossington than beat Wythenshawe. I'd rather beat both.
No.
I would obviously rather beat both. The league is our priority.
But the top 4 go up.
Still.
They're in the midst.
Still.
This is one of those. This is a 6-pointer. This is a 6-pointer on Tuesday.
I'm a romanticist when it comes to football, and that's.
But this is a 6-pointer. It's away from home. They're playing very, very well at the minute, and they're scoring a hell of a lot of goals. And we're going to have to play that game on Saturday.
Which will be another tough game.
I don't know who they're playing on Saturday. Look.
Who?
Rossington.
Um,
Why are you two discussing?
Well, it's not a great ground, I will say that, I've been before, and the pitch won't be very good because none of them are, apart from ours. And yeah, it'll be tough. We'll be coming off the Wythenshawe game, which will probably be a big...
They're not playing.
They're not playing?
Obviously the Vats.
Don't know.
No, they're not playing.
Oh, well, that doesn't bode well. Yeah, it's... Again, it's just tough because it's just another game straight off the back of another game again, and yeah, it's it'll be difficult. And I'll go first on the prediction. I think we'll get beat 2-1.
I think we'll win 1-0.
Get beat 3-0.
I think that's harsh.
Well, that's if we win on Saturday.
Oh, not this again.
If we don't win on Saturday,
Depends how we play on Saturday. Depends how much effort we have to play. They're not playing. Alright, maybe 3-0's Ash, 2-0.
Right. So we're predicting a tough week then, essentially.
Yeah, and it's part of this running we've got, which is a hard running. And it's football, it happens, but I think Tuesday's going to be tricky. I think that'll be like Winter. I think we're going to see a very good team up against us. And it depends on how we match them. We might have Easty back there, might we?
He'll be desperate to be back. He'll be desperate to play, but it's whether it's right for him,
it'll be
isn't
touch
it?
and go.
We're going to come out Saturday without any injuries.
I mean, he tried to come back on last night, and Elvis had to say to him, "Look, Easty, you're not going to run it off." We actually heard him say that.
Yeah.
You know, he really wanted to stay on, but
I'm worried about that Rossington game. I am. I'm more worried about that than I am Wythenshawe.
Wythenshawe are a little bit of an unknown quantity, aren't
Well,
they?
yeah.
You know, we haven't played against them. Obviously, we know that on paper they score a lot of goals, they win a lot of games, but so did Campion, and we went there and bossed it. So, you know,
Funny old game.
it is. So yeah, we're just about got to the end again. Obviously, I will say that 10 weeks. Obviously, thanks to everyone who watches and comments, and you know, we love the banter and everything. And you know, he's already started a war with Emily. It's taken him less than 3 months. So
Well, no. I didn't start the war. They started the war. and I intend to finish the war. I've got plans, Friendly.
Sounds like bloody Thanos.
There are plans, Friendly, as you two know.
That does not sound good. But anyway, no, but it's good, isn't it, lads? We're enjoying it.
It is.
Yeah.
We are.
And you know, we will keep going. And we will.
Apart from next week, it could be quite negative on next week.
Well, let's hope it isn't.
It's not good. It's going to be a positive one.
Yes, it is.
Let's be positive.
Right, and on that note, we will see you all next week when Ferriby will be in the next round of the FA Vars and will have beaten Rossington.
And we'll have a home draw.
Yes.
I hope so.
See you then.
Goodbye.